Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jam and Chat number 32. My name is Matthew, and I'm your host. I'll tell you what, we got some important things to play and talk about because, you know what? That's what we're about here. We're going to talk and we're going to play. And with me today, I've got some of the usual suspects. I've got Jennifer Valaquette on woodwinds here for today. And I've also, you can check out Jennifer's music page. And I've got Craig from New World Wellness here with me again today. He has been a big help to the channel recently in the Copyright Strikes series of videos. Yeah. And I really appreciate that help, so thank you very much. Make sure you check out New World Wellness on YouTube and beyond.
Yes, thanks for the intro, Matthew.
Is it still wellnessdowntown.com? Is that right?
Wellnessdowntown.com, that is the website, but the YouTube page, just type in New World Wellness, and there's a lot of great meditation classes, yoga classes, really good for the immune system right now. You want to work on this body, believe me. You know, without this body, you can't do anything. It's the vehicle. And I'm really happy to be here today with both of you guys. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
So, unfortunately, a pre-Jam and Chat discussion off camera specifically kind of turned a little bit heated, and so yesterday I had to not include somebody who was quite aggravating, and then the aggravation sort of continued. I reached out and I was like, okay, hey, you know, I really don't want to talk about this election thing. I'm not interested in it. I'd rather decide between a root canal and getting the tooth pulled than decide between the candidates particularly, especially being publicly on the record as to what I want to do and shit. That's just not my bag. So he kept persisting and persisting, like acting like I owed him a promise of my vote or something. And I basically had to be like, look, point blank, okay? I'm going to block you. And he called my bluff by continuing on. I said, all I want you to do is stop talking about it until after the election. Then we can discuss it on November whatever, the day after it's over. Then we can discuss it. But I don't want to discuss it until then because, you know, it's just not an appealing topic. At least for me, anyway. What do you guys think?
I think it's going to get ugly, and I'm trying to stay offline as much as possible.
I think, you know, one of my favorite episodes of Jam and Chat, it was just two of you guys, and I can't remember her name, but she had like a little blues book, and you were teaching her blues, and it was actually one of the first episodes that I watched, and in my mind I was like, what a great idea, because when I first started jamming with people, you know, I felt like I didn't have confidence and those kind of things. And like what that episode was so great about it, what I loved about it was that it taught you something in the end. So I kind of been thinking about, like, you know, an idea that maybe you guys want to try, like,
Definitely.
You know, just like when we first start to jam, like, we all jam in different ways, I think. Like, that's one thing that I learned, even when I would jam with somebody, and then, you know, a few years later, I'd go jam with somebody else, or then go into the kirtan world where I had to play the harmonium, which, you know, guitar is definitely my favorite instrument, but I forced myself to even do that, to be honest. But I do love the harmonium, I will admit. But anyway, so I thought maybe, like, to share, like, what are the greatest kind of jam tricks that you learned, because I learned a few from a few different people where it just improved my self-confidence a lot. And then I jam with myself now because I'm old and coronavirus. Both, you know, I can't wait to get back out again.
Hi, Corona.
That would be a great parody.
It's
My
been
Corona.
Done. It's already been done.
It has?
I don't know if it was exactly that, but there's been several of them, and it's cool, you know? I'm all about that kind of stuff.
So, you know, having a looper pedal, which I've always had, I think it's an incredibly valuable tool. And that's what I jam to. So I start building tracks, and then I just jam, and then you kind of learn, all right, what works over major? What's the relative minor here? And then you start working with that stuff. And then, you know, when something comes up and you figure, and even the guitar has a lot of cool little patterns that people taught me in like 5 minutes, and I started to understand how to find, you know, chords in a key, or, you know, what are the notes that work in a certain key. And then once you know them, it's duplicated everywhere, you know, even just on the octaves. And so I'm not a music teacher or anything like that, but a few of these patterns like really help me start to understand, you know, what you could jam over, where it's not just, okay, pentatonic scale, you know, you can use the major scale, you can use these different modes and those kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fairly easy on guitar, so I thought that would be, I don't know, this is just an idea, but you know, like that's what I loved about Jam and Chat. I walked away from that blues lesson knowing a lot more about blues, you know? And I, you know, rather than maybe talk about, you know, make the chat part more about relative minors rather than, you know, relatively what's happening in the world, which is, you know, a dangerous subject usually. So that would be my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Cool, man. Well, so some ideas that I've been trying to do, um, excuse me, is also bringing in the covers. But the one issue that I'm finding with the covers is, you know, the licensing. So I'm working on that. I sent you a carbon copy of that email just so you can see how big it was going to
I
be,
saw,
Craig.
yeah, it's crazy.
90% plus of my
Wow.
videos I had to send them links to.
At least you didn't have to re-upload them
No, no,
though.
no, no, no. Thank
Yeah,
goodness.
that's
But
good.
dude, I haven't heard back from him, so I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm not, you know, I'm going to try to be patient and just hope that, you know, it happens before I get any more strikes or anything. But
I can answer that somewhat. Some of them are automated, right?
mm-hmm,
So I looked into that. So like you might put one up and like even like 20 minutes later it comes back, "Hey, okay, you can use it." And usually that means that already everything's been agreed on.
mm-hmm,
Now, if you have a song, you know, and then sometimes from what I understand, like the artist would even want to look at what it is first. Like if
yeah,
it's a terrible something and they don't want it to be attached to it, they have that right. So they kind of like, so you know,
you're
some
waiting for
artists are
them.
just like do whatever you want, and so those are usually the ones that you're going to get back right away. But if like somebody's like picky about what they want their song to be, you know, we are the hits will send them that first, and they have that option to kind of review that. And then some probably is backlog, you know, if you, especially if you do a giant, you know, email like you did. So, but yeah, it could take process, and supposedly you're supposed to unlist everything while it's in the process. But
Oh, really?
I don't know. I mean, already you uploaded, and the algorithm obviously hasn't. You know, I think it was the Eagles paying somebody to find you with Desperado.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I hadn't even got to
So
1,000 plays yet. I mean, come
that's the
on,
thing.
dude.
Once you get to 1,000 subscribers, then things really change with the algorithm, supposedly, from what I understand. I don't
Well,
know. That's not written in stone, but that's what I read on a forum.
I'm almost to 500. But you know what
Yeah.
I'm discovering now, though, Craig, is that honestly, like YouTube has all these policies that subscribers will just vanish if they don't watch a certain amount of your content within the first month or whatever. So more important to me now than, you know, gaining subscribers, because, you know, obviously I've been on a big push to gain subscribers. Now what I need to do is I need to make those subscribers that I've gained permanent by getting them to watch my videos for at least the minimum threshold. But really the minimum threshold is not enough. I mean, my channel is all about teaching people and interacting with people and demonstrating, you know, my abilities, you know, for future employment and things like that, like doing covers and sharing my originals and all that wonderful stuff, parodies. So I've been studying like what it takes to make viral videos. And one element that Jam and Chat really has added to my channel without me even realizing it is the reaction element,
Hmm.
right? The reaction element. And then from Jam and Chat, that allowed me to branch out into the Mastering Music with Matthew, which I feel like having people attend that is important, not for the content, it's important for the reaction element, so that
Hmm.
the viewers feel like, you know, it's not just they're being talked to, that somebody else actually then gives their perspective and asks questions and gives their response to the message, to the lesson, and then that can really deepen the meaning. and of course the comments on top of it adds another layer to that. You know, but that's why I feel like it's so important to have the everybody interacting. Another thing I'd like to bring in is I'd like to bring in the aspect of either reward or like maybe competition. So what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm very strongly going to do it maybe next month, is make a little series of videos where I offer, say, a free lesson, and make it where people have to compete for it somehow. So, like, for example, post and copy me the link of you know, of your most blah blah blah, your most impressive original song, and then I will teach you a free songwriting lesson to the winner, or something, or maybe show me your best jam, your best instrumental jam, and then the winner, whoever I think's the best, gets a free lesson with me, and then that way I'm getting permission to air their content on my channel. So hopefully their subscribers and their followers will then want to watch the show on my channel. That's the idea, and then also then the winner, you know, gets a prize, and the winner's not revealed to the very end. So kind of hoping that, you know, people will watch the whole show.
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to take lessons from other YouTubers of how to, like, you know, take it to that next level, because, dude, I could get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year pretty easy with the tactics that I'm already employing. But that's not going to be enough. I'm not going to have enough hours viewed to monetize. It's not going to be enough. So at this point, I'm starting to shift gears, at least for the next month or two, to focus more on watch time, you know what I mean, than sheer number of subscribers.
That's where I'm really lucky because, like, you know how long-winded I am as a teacher. I'm supposed to do an hour class. I end up doing like an hour and 35, and I'm like, I just started. You know, that's just the way I am as a teacher.
But do people watch
how
for that
horrible
long?
it is, and that's the thing. Like, I have figured out the most I can get away with a yoga class is about an hour and 20 minutes. Then I see the drop-off, even if it's really a good class, just because people got to do something else. But I'm so lucky because, like, a lot of your videos are only 5 minutes long. You know, my videos are usually at least an hour 20 minutes, you know, depending on what it is. So usually when somebody commits to a yoga class, they're going to do it till the end. So you got to build up like a whole bunch of views just to get the same amount of time as one person watching my yoga class. And like when I look at my analytics, I see that people are watching for a long period of time. Actually, YouTube's already interested, and I don't have the subscribers. It's just because I retain the audience.
Good.
And so I think I'm just a little bit luckier when you have the long videos. There's a lot of pain in the ass to do with editing and those kind of things. There's a lot of work. But usually with a yoga class, they sit down, they're ready to do it, and then they do it. And you can also see when somebody just has it on their phone and they're like, I wonder what this yoga class is. And usually that's within 45 seconds. They're like, all right, maybe I'll do this later or whatever. You can see the drop-off. But then you see the retention stays at like about 20% for that long period of time. So all those minutes add up. So it takes you like a ton of likes, because if your video is 5 minutes, you know, you gotta have a lot of people watch it all the way through just to get somebody watching one yoga class. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I totally understand, man. That's the key, whether or not people are retaining their interest. And
Well,
that's
right,
why,
exactly.
Like,
if somebody
like
watches your one yoga class on your channel and they hit the subscribe button at any point during that viewing, they will be permanent subscribers based on at least YouTube's current policies. Because after like the first month, if you've met that like 2-minute threshold or whatever, I don't think they unsubscribe anymore. It's just about people to stop channels from growing too fast by doing spam. And you know, the definition of spam is kind of gray, and so I've really, you know, had to kind of modify my tactics to make sure that I never fall under that definition under any circumstance. So I have to make sure that when I watch somebody's video, I watch enough of it, at least a minute, at least, so that I can leave intelligent commentary to let them know that I actually watched it, that I listened to it, that I paid attention, that I give a shit. And, you know, swearing matters, because, dude, I'm telling you, right? Why would anybody give a shit about my channel, at least when I'm first starting, if I don't give a shit about anybody else's channel, right? right?
That's the thing, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
I really have to listen to people to get them to listen to me.
You have it a little bit easier getting subscribers because there's less of a pool in the yoga world, believe me, than there is in the music world.
Oh yeah.
And so like you get a ton of subscribers. Like it's taken me a while to get what I've gotten, but they're hardcore because they wait for the next video. I mean, it comes up on their feed or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, I got to do that class," you know.
It
Or
was a
whatever.
double win for me because it changed my freaking YouTube feed from being mostly politics and, you know, like doom and gloom related YouTube stuff, like, you know, environmental stories, etc., all the problems and the war and all that. And it changed my YouTube feed. So now of the 500 channels I'm subscribed to, seriously, at least 480 of them are music channels, at least majority. So like my feed is totally different. It's music. So I'm making a habit of literally every day watching like almost my entire subscription feed. Now, I don't have time to watch them all, so if somebody uploaded like 5 videos in a day, I might watch maybe 1 or 2 of them instead of all 5, but I try to watch one from everybody, at least, that posted videos that day, to keep them thinking of me, right?
Yeah.
Because that at least for me, it feels like if I don't reach out first, a few people will reach out to me, but if I reach out first, a whole lot of people will reach out to me. And that's a good lesson for everybody, you know? Because a lot of times we're afraid to be the first one to reach out, and especially in YouTube music, I have nothing to lose by saying, "Hey, dude, I will support you if you'll support me."
Yeah.
And my music's good enough that anybody that listens to music sees that that's a good deal, because I'm not going to hurt their ears.
And actually, that's why I wanted to be on this show, because I think it's really innovative. I don't think there's anything like this. Especially like if you walk away, you learn something, and then you could join if you want. So like I like to watch. Like I thought Eric was entertaining and those kind of things, and like everybody's entertaining. It's really kind of cool. And then it is kind of like you get to know the people, and it's a really cool kind of reality show. I think that is going to be something amazing. And I love the way you introduce it, Jam and Chat. It reminds me of like in the 80s, I used to want to go to like Metallica shows, and like they would say on the commercial, they'd be like, "You pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge," you know? I love that. I love everything about this show, and I always watch it and can't wait to watch it. So I think you're doing a really good job with some original content, you know?
She's been trying to squeak in there a little bit. Let's let Jennifer have a turn.
Oh yeah, sorry, Jen.
No, you're fine. I was just saying that I remember at first when Matthew asked me to come on, I was really shy, and I was like, I don't know about doing YouTube.
A little louder, Jen. A little louder. A little closer to the mic.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I said,
Yeah, that's way better.
Is this better?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm moving my computer closer. I gotta get a better mic eventually when I'm working on more. Anyways, no, I was saying when I first started, when Matthew asked me to do this, I was like, I don't know if I could do YouTube. I'll be a nervous wreck, right, Matthew?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you did, because like I got to know you too. You know, that's really cool to.
Because like classical is my forte, so this is actually really good practice for me. So.
Yeah, your sax is really good. I've always loved the flute. Like, there's a type of meditation music where you just do freestyle. It's almost like you do martial arts, so you kind of understand like Tai Chi, where okay, so the actual movement, but then you got to practice so much until muscle memory starts to happen, and then it actually becomes a meditative state when you're in that, and you can probably feel prana or chi, they would call it in that, but energy in that way. And so, it's kind of the same, I think, with this type of meditation that monks do with the flute, because what they do is they just go in, and the space is just as important as the notes. You wouldn't, it's like when you listen to the style, it's all this long, drawn out kind of tones on the flute, and maybe they're just in a mode, you know what I mean? They're just staying in one mode, and that's the only rule. Just like Tai Chi, the rule is you got to be in this form. In this, the rule is you got to be in this mode. And then it's like when you listen to it, the space becomes so important, and it's such a spacious form of music. And
Yeah.
to me, I love melodic music personally. For me, when I first listened to that, it has no structure otherwise. Like every time they play it, they go into a meditative state and just play the mode in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a droning to it too, you know what I mean? And I just love that style of flute playing, and I love Native American flutes
Yeah.
so much. Like I noticed you play mostly the classical version, which is
do.
also really beautiful too. I really love it.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah.
I did
Go ahead.
a different version of Europa one time because
I love
at
that
the
song.
time- I did too, and at the time I didn't know how to do the growling, you know.
Right.
So I did vibrato, and
Cool.
you actually criticized me for that because it's more of a jazzy piece. But I was just like, you know what? It's my own take on it. So.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
But, no, I just got criticized for doing vibrato on Europa instead of the growling because I couldn't do the growling at the time. So.
Yeah,
That's
Europa is that Gato Barberi sound.
Yeah.
That's what you want. So look on YouTube, dude. There's some good saxophone players that kind of like and embody that sound more than I do. I mean, I love to growl, definitely. I comes to mention I listen to a lot of saxophone players on YouTube every day. It's just what I do. So I've been hearing one lady. I'm gonna mention her. Her last cover was her channel was Saxy Marsh, and she played the whole song. I forget what it was, but it was bluesy and growly, and just it had that gato sound, even though it wasn't Europa.
Okay.
You could look her up, but she was playing tenor and moving around, and she had like a clip-on wireless mic. Clearly, pretty sure she was in a DAW. It sounded really good. Good player. You might enjoy checking her out.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, because I've been wanting to. I mean, and not just because I was criticized, but I've been wanting to kind of learn how to do that. Anyways, like I got that classic sound. So, but I love Europa.
I'm going to throw out another reference here. Another guy. I sort of gave him a feedback sandwich one day, and I want to make sure that he knows I respect him. His name's Q-Man, right? I think it's Aaron Q-Man. I think this dude, his altissimo is freaking insane. I don't know how the hell he does it. I actually was considering buying a lesson with him just to learn his altissimo tricks. So shout out to Q-Man there.
High C, that one too.
He was doing this shit where it was like obviously up a couple. I was like, it was like crazy. I don't know how the hell.
That is cool.
It was definitely partials. I don't think it was too much with the fingerings, but whatever it was really neat.
Mine sounds really sharp when I get up there. I think most do, but you know.
Anyway, so let's play something, brother. We took all that effort to get it set up.
all right. How much time do we have?
I don't know,
Well,
but
I have about 10 minutes, but I mean.
play something for us, brother. Let's make a loop.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Saxophone.
So just G major 7 and C, which are my favorite chords, together. And so that's that 1 and 4 going on. And so you can play in G, like G major, and then the relative minor obviously is that E minor, which is really good on the guitar. That's a fun thing to jam to. better?
Yeah. Let's hear some saxophone. More, Jen. I need a little more volume from you, Jennifer. A little more. Yeah.
Yeah. so cool. That other episode of Jam and Chat, you were doing the EWI. I was loving it, man. It was like so hypnotic. I love you
Yogi's
guys.
fun, man. I love Yogi.
You want me to turn the loop off?
Yeah. We're gonna have to get to the next room and unfortunately get Jennifer out of here. It's almost time for her to go. So let's fade out the loop or turn it off.
Yeah,
Thank you so
that was
much.
fun.
One of my students came back online, so they're back to their normal time on Tuesdays now. So
You're good, dude. Thank you so much for being with us, Jennifer. Everybody, make sure you
next
check out
time
Jennifer's music page.
I definitely want to do the flute over that perfect interval thing.
yeah, I did a little flute on there.
I did. Yeah, I know. It was awesome.
Oh. You
just
heard
want
the
to do
perfect
like a
interval
world
thing I was
thing.
doing, right? Come on, listen.
I know. That was so cool too. That's such a good woody, windy sounding. Like that's a really good sound.
Yeah, that's the bottle flute or whatever. That's one of my favorites.
I love it, man.
Honestly.
Oh, sorry.
No. You guys, Jennifer, you haven't had your fair share. Why don't you go ahead and take some time here?
What?
Take your time. Say something.
Oh, quick question.
Yes.
Is there a microphone I could get to connect to this that's a USB?
That's a USB? I don't know.
Yes.
That's a good question.
There is a USB microphone.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, because I noticed that when I got
you just
close up to the computer, the yellow thing was on there saying that you guys heard me, and then when I was like here, it was off. So I don't.
Actually, when you got close, I heard it the best, and it sounded
really?
awesome.
And then I had a weird camera angle shot though.
So I have the short answer to your question is I have an old Shure Beta wireless microphone transmitter and receiver setup. It's at least 10 years old. It's freaking badass. It was really expensive. I'm sure you can get it way cheaper now. I wouldn't go for the cheapest routes when you're dealing with wireless. So I would just recommend to get a good name, Shure, Audio Technica, any of the big ones that are I wouldn't. Maybe Samson, I don't know, maybe not. They're sort of okay, but remember, like you could just get a wired microphone too. And if you have a USB interface for your computer, then your microphone doesn't have to be USB. Another thing you get is a USB condenser microphone that it would pick up the whole room, so you could sing, you could play flute, saxophone, whatever, and it'll pick up the sound. If you're going to use that, though, I would recommend headphones like I'm wearing.
Yeah, definitely.
I might actually have something in there, so I'm gonna try to see, but I don't know if it would work with this.
Just make sure you get one that doesn't need phantom power if you don't do it.
You want to continue, Craig? We're less than 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All
man.
right,
I'd love to.
we'll continue on in a new room. Thank you so much for Jennifer. We're going to go on and